Hey, what's up guys? We're back again with a top 3 deck in Clash Royale that's extremely easy to play. The other 2 top decks are Pekka and Logbait. Logbait requires a lot of skill at the highest level, and if you mess up once, you're screwed. And Pekka doesn't have the best defensive options without ability and forces you to go all in more times than I would want. And that's where this Royal Recruits deck is the best of both worlds. It's got the pure offensive power that a Pekka deck would have with the Royal Recruits Cannon Cart and Goblin Stein rumbling through, while the evolved goblins give exponential value as you litter the map with bait cards, while simultaneously staying secure with defenses that rival a Logbait deck. Cannon Cart, Goblin Stein, and Goblin Gang and Recruits will keep you safe from any bridge spam. If you're grinding challenges or ladder at 0 brain cells or just don't want to think, this is the best deck in the game for how easy it is to play. I've played hundreds of Royal Recruits games with this deck, so there's a ton that I can teach you guys, especially since I was asking the best players in the game for tips whenever I messed up. Let's show you guys how to infuse skill with one of the easiest decks in Clash Royale and assert dominance. Let's see if we can make it all the way to 12 wins with 0 losses. Lots of love to everyone that's supporting the channel with creator code SirTag, making all the high for videos possible. Let's get it. So first game, we're gonna be playing against someone with the various donut clan. Well, sir, I'm ready to eat you alive and just hopefully drill a hole in your tower, bro. So if he's gonna go in for a Dart Goblin and a Mortar, that's gonna be a massive advantage for us if we arrows on 7 elixir worth of value and hit the tower. So if we're matching into a Mortar Dark Goblin deck, most likely there's going to be other bait cards in the deck. So I have to be ready with my Goblin Gang at any twist or turn to go and shut down Goblin Barrels. You drop your Goblin Barrel counter directly behind the tower, and then the Goblins will shift in the right direction, and they'll also counter the right amount of Goblins, whatever they drop in front of you. Also, one thing to keep in mind, you would prefer to cycle Goblin Stein in this deck compared to cycling the Cannon Cart. Cannon Cart is going to be better for sniping things and better defensively. So if you cycle it passively in the back, it's not near as good as cycling the Goblin Stein, which is by far one of the best cards in the game. So the order of operations is cycling Goblin Barrels on towers. Just a really good play because you're going to try to get to the Goblin Barrel evolution. It takes 2 cycles to get to that one compared to the 1 cycle of the Royal Recruits. So that's going to be the best possible play. And then secondly, you're going to want to go in for Goblin Steins when you know that you can defend. If you have Royal Recruits, Dark Goblin, Cannon Cart, and Cycle, you're going to be fine with those cards. We're going to go and plant down Royal Recruits directly on the Dark Goblin so we can finish it off with the help of our tower. We're going to get ready with our Dark Goblin in the middle if he's going to drop any bait cards. We don't want arrows on them, especially if they're bats, then we would do that. Okay, so Royal Recruits are coming down. I'm going to fight on my side of the map now because it's obvious that he's going to get a whole bunch of them counter pushing, and that's bad for us to fight anywhere near his side. If we went Dark Goblin there, his Royal Recruits would win, and then he'd snipe my Dark Goblin, I'd just probably lose the game. So something to keep in mind. Also, another pro play that I realized when I was talking to professional players is you don't necessarily always want to go in for dual lane pressure if you can support your Cannon Cart with the Goblin Stein ability. It's really nice. Like right now, I think we might be able to melt most of his Doctor, and if we can go Goblin Gang simultaneously on the other side and then do a dual lane pressure here with a Cannon Cart tanking, this will probably win us the game. So notice what we did there. We did dual lane pressure, but we did it after we exhausted all of his elixir. And we catapulted the Goblin Barrel directly with the Goblin Stein. And the Goblin Stein Doctor was stunning our opponent and making sure that our Goblin Barrel was able to get more value. Also, I went in for the weaker Goblin Barrel, the one from the evolution, on the higher likelihood chance where he would go arrows. Because he was going to try to protect the higher HP tower, right? So obviously I'm going to waste my fake Goblin Barrel on that one so then I can do monstrous damage on both sides. I'm going to go and plop down the Doctor ability, and I just want to highlight how broken this is. Like, I killed a Goblin Gang, I killed his Doctor, and then we're still alive out here going for a Goblin Barrel and cycling back to our arrows to assassinate this man. So, as you can see, if you play this deck even, like, slightly correctly, it is one of the best decks in the game for the 20-win challenge, and just for ladder and Clash Royale in general. It's amazingly consistent. This Recruits deck blows all the other Recruits decks out of the water, as exemplified by this matchup. Trust me, I've tried them all, and not a single other one comes close. On to the next one. So we're 5-0 in this 20-win challenge, and we are not losing anytime soon with this deck. We go for Goblin Barrel at the start. As I said before, that's my favorite play to do, just to be able to see if my opponent has a small spell and cycle, and it's a check. And if they don't, they're going to take damage. So overall, 3 for 3 trade. We get around 300 damage on the tower, and we cycle to our evolution, and the guy's sitting there with guards and damage on his tower. So it's not really a good sight for him to see. Anyway, we're going to go guards right now, and we're going to see what's cooking. If we see guards in this, it's probably going to be Pekka, and it is a Ram Rider. So I actually want to go in for a cannon here against the Ram Rider and the Goblin Stein because it pulls both of them. And I think that's going to be our best play because then he can't get a good ability on our tower. Also, another thing that we can do is we can go Dark Goblin here to snipe his Doctor if we want to. I do think that it could get killed by a Royal Ghost, so I'm going to go Goblin Gang instead. Oh my gosh! Who does that? We're going to go Goblin Stein at the bridge because we don't have to eat anything besides the Doctor damage. We drop Goblin Stein, and then we defend with a Cannon Cart. Oh, wow. The guy has Fisherman, so that's a bit more fishy for me, my guy. Not what we wanted to see. I'm going to go Cannon Cart here. We should be able to go and pull the Pekka with that placement. I've been practicing a lot of my Cannon Carts, and it looked like the Pekka wasn't going to get pulled, but if you guys do the most precise placement, you get away with a little bit more time, and if you're playing against an evolved Pekka, it's the difference between life or death in some situations. If that Pekka turns and then hits your Cannon Cart faster, then you're probably going to lose the game because it will get the heal, and then you'll just, like, you know, you won't be able to kill the Pekka. So one other thing, Cannon should have been placed one more tile lower, but a little bit of a stickler for those small interactions because you want to do everything you possibly can to win more games and get higher likelihoods of 20 wins. So we're going to go for Royal Recruits whenever we get the chance. I'm going to split up a Goblin Gang, and I think that's going to be our best bet. He'll probably go Electro Dragon on one side. We'll see, though. I would assume. Yeah, there's the Electro Dragon. I hope this one Spear Goblin just locks onto the Electro Dragon and kills it. It'd be pretty funny if that happened. Usually want to go Dark Goblin, and I think I'm going to go Dark Goblin to aid the Spear Goblin, because usually what happens is they'll try to defend both Royal Recruits, and they'll drop an Electro Dragon that's 5 Elixir. They can't support the Electro Dragon as well. So when they drop that Electro Dragon, they have to drop Elixir on the other side, and then they're going to be at 10 Elixir spent, and then they won't be able to protect the Electro Dragon, so it's free to get sniped by your other cards. Oh, by the way, we're going to go Goblin Sign here. We're going to take both towers. We're going to be ruthless with it. Why not take 2 towers? Especially since I can set up a Cannon Cart here too, and go in for a Cannon, and then just feel really, really good about myself. So something to keep in mind whenever you're playing against these types of decks. You want to snipe their stuff. I'm going to go Electro Dragon here. I'm going to go in for a Goblin Barrel. I just need to not get 3 crowned. I think I'll take both towers, if I'm being honest with you guys. If the Electro Dragon treads ahead, then I think he's going to be dead, and we might be able to just pull the Pekka backward. Yeah, that's really cool. So he's not going to cross the bridge. As you guys can see, the best way to play this matchup is sniping Electro Dragons, and if you do that, you are just going to be destroying them. This bro's Pekka literally isn't even allowed to play the game. It's going to get pulled back by the Goblin Barrel too. Look, the match is over, but the Pekka was still walking backwards. Such a lost puppy. I gotta get you guys to level with me for a second. Do you think Evolved Pekka Evolved Electro Dragon is more toxic than my dirty Royal Recruits deck? Because personally, I do. But I'm probably a little bit biased. And there's no doubt my Royal Recruits deck is right up there as one of the most toxic decks in the game too. So now we're at 8-0 and we have nowhere to go but up. So that's what's up. We're playing against a rank 129 player in the world. Let's go. That's what we like to see, baby. So a total challenge emerges after we've been destroying everyone that we've been facing. Now we play against a really good player. So whenever I see Lumberjack, I'm expecting Lumberjack Balloon. There's a chance of something else, but I'm going to go Cannon Cart here. I'm going to save the Goblin Stein. I think that does get pulled because I've been maximizing our Cannon Cart placements, as you guys know. The Cannon Cart stays alive. I'm going to go Royal Recruits here. It's a little bit risky, but I want to keep the Cannon Cart alive so then we can get more value from it. And I'm going to try to go Dark Goblin at 3 Elixir. The reason why we're going Dark Goblin so aggressively here is because it will kill the Phoenix guaranteed, and I want to slaughter the Goblin Stein monster as well, so then the Cannon Cart's able to lock on a tower, and it does. So yeah, even though we're matching into a rank 129 player in the world, sometimes it's just too easy if you realize like what you can do with your deck. So I understood, hey, he just doesn't have Elixir to defend that. He dropped his Lumberjack already. He's down a lot. We played reactively. We responded to what he was doing, and we punished him. All right, we're going to go for a Goblin Stein here. We're going to go for a Goblin Barrel with the Goblin Stein tanking for it. And we're just going to try to cycle back to the evolution. Even if it... Okay, it's doing a lot of damage. We're going to pop ability. This is risky. I actually don't like this. I shouldn't have done that. I'm up so much right now that it's a bad play. So I think we kind of want to go Cannon here, but also want to go Goblin Gang. I'm going to go Cannon Cart. It's just safer. It kills everything, I think. Not 100% convinced, but as long as it does, we're in a great spot. And it doesn't. So we're going to have to go Goblin Gang. Should have maybe arrows. Yeah, arrowsing would have been better because we end up having Princess Tower, so I messed up. Well played from our opponent. He did finesse us a little bit. Sometimes you don't play your best. This is why we wanted to save our Cannon. Then we can go and pull the Battle Ram, and we're dropping the lowest possible pull just to make sure that we have both of our towers engaged. I think I could have played that better too. I think I could have done a higher pull, so then when it pops, the Barbarians have to walk longer. So it's not like the Ram Rider, and it's not like a Hog Rider. It's actually a little bit different, but I reflexively did that because I haven't seen Battle Ram in a fat minute. Anyway, we're going to go Royal Recruits in the back. And despite our macro plays being really good, our micro plays at the end, like with that cannon placement, wasn't really optimal. Should have done that a little bit higher. A bit different though. You know, I'm not necessarily used to it as much. And then also the arrows should have been placed instead of what we did earlier. All right, we're going to get a really, really juicy ability here. I'm going to throw down a Goblin Barrel evolution as well, because I want to be able to take both towers. And then I'm pretty confident that, you know, we're going to be able to at least kill the Cannon Cart here. So I'm going to go Cannon Cart again in the back. Leaking a little bit of elixir, not good. I'm going to go Dark Goblin off to the side. We can get a Goblin Gang down, but I think it's better for us to just go for Recruits. It will kill the Cannon Cart, and it will allow us to get better counter push. And go Goblin Gang here. It's going to be a one-tower game anyway, so I need to make sure that I eat more damage on the other side, since it doesn't necessarily matter because our tower's at 1,000 HP, right? We could eat a lot more there. All right, so we're going to try to go Goblin Barrel here on the left. I think we're barely going to take it. If we could just kill this Cannon Cart, I think we'd be very, very happy. We can go Evo Snowball. That's fine. I think the Goblins do reach the tower. And one more stab. Yes, sir! That's what I'm talking about. So we seize the game against a top 120 player in the world. A little bit of a sketchy game, and I didn't even play my best, but that's a testament to how strong this deck is. Even when you're not playing your best, you'll still withstand the test and win against some of the best players in the world. Just looking at this guy's banner, he's exceptionally talented and way better than me, but doesn't matter, recruits are the way to win. And even though I won, there was a bunch of things that I could have improved on, like the cannon and arrows that I talked about during the match. All right, so we're at 9-0 in the 20-win challenge. Let's go. Y'all already know I've been streaming this thing a lot, and hopefully we can get it on all of our accounts today. That's what I'm hoping for, like the last couple days of the 20-win challenge. So we are grinding out here. This guy's going to be going in for a Night Lightning. Wow. Okay, so whenever I see Night Lightning, I'm expecting our opponent to most likely be running something weird. I don't necessarily know what it's going to be, but I think it's going to be funky. If I had to guess, I think if I had to place a finger on it, it would be a Mortar deck. So I want to go for a Dark Goblin here on the Skeleton King, and then just use our Recruits to kill it, hopefully. Please go towards the Recruits. Really bad Goblin Gang from our opponent. He thought he was going to be able to snipe the Dark Goblin, and he didn't. So we're going to go for a Goblin Stein here because he downed a lot of elixir. He went Goblin Stein counter, and... oh, wait. All right. I thought he would go for Goblin Stein counter with Lightning earlier and then not be back to anything, and I guess, yeah, I guess he's just screwed. Game just over? Sometimes that happens where if the opponent's down elixir and you counter pressure with Recruits, because he went for a Goblin Gang in the middle and arrows, we just did 1,000,000 damage. And that's how the deck works. It's like you seize the opportunity when your opponent slips up and you punish him. I'm going to go Goblin Gang here. I should have done it a little bit faster, but I was looking at the camera, staring into your guys' souls. And if you drop your Goblin Gang behind your Princess Tower fast enough, you take 0 damage because the Goblins disperse and it counters the Goblin Barrels. If you're quick enough with that, it's better than arrowing, because then you get to keep the arrows on offense. And then, of course, you get the Spear Goblins counter pushing with the Goblin Gang. So it's way better. We're going to arrows here immediately. I think he's just dead. There's just no way he comes back. So 10-0 and way too easy. This is the best deck to play if you want to just climb up quick in any challenge or ladder. It is so utterly undeniably dominant, as exemplified by yet another player leaving in a few seconds. Bro's mental and towers got broken down to bits. 10-0, first run on this account, and we are loving the level up stuff for our mini account. All right, let's get 11-0. I feel like Khaki is going to be a pretty bland person. You guys know when I was growing up, there was Jake from State Farm, and he always wore khakis. And now I feel like this guy's name is a part of me. I think we're long lost brothers from another mother. And that used to be the joke everywhere I used to go. But I don't know. I feel like it's just fallen out of fashion. So hopefully this guy's going to be as washed up as that joke. So I'm going to be going in for the Goblin Stein ability as soon as I can. I want to hit the Fly Machine, and I also want to be able to hit the Mortar. So I'm going to go and take that trade if I can. I don't think we're going to be able to kill both of them, but it is what it is. And then we're going to have to go Goblin Gang here, so then the Spear Goblins are able to help us out against the Fly Machine. Didn't want to take that hit on my tower. Oh, really easy King Tower activation for us against this Firecracker, but he's running Mortar, so I don't know if it's worth. You know what? If we drop our Dark Goblin fast enough, it misses. Oh, dang it.
Why don't they like it?
Oh, that's bad. That was bad. I thought we would activate King Tower. At least we still got some damage on the tower. It's fine. You know what, Dark Goblin? You played with my feelings. You're too overpowered. You just didn't want us to activate King Tower. I see how it is. Throw a Goblin Barrel here, even though it's a little bit scary seeing a Night Witch. I think I'm okay. I'm going to go in for a cannon here. Oh, he missed the Night Witch. He missed the freaking Night Witch. That's crazy. Yo, that was so cooked. That was awesome. The Goblin Barrel, 300 IQ. I didn't even know that our goblins were that intelligent. They just look goofy with their tongues out all the time. But, I mean, maybe they're just sticking our tongues out at the opponent and just laughing at him, mocking him maybe. All right, so since we're playing against a very scummy clone deck, then you guys know the strats. We want to save our arrows for the clone if we need to. In this specific situation, I do think it's difficult for us to go and counter the Fly Machine, so we're going to go Dark Goblin off to the side. After we lock onto the Giant Skeleton first, we're going to go and pull everything off to the side again. Even if the Fly Machine locks on, it's not the end of the world. I just am really scared of that obnoxious big Goblin thing with the bomb. It is not fun. It really looks like a goblin sometimes. It looks like a dead goblin. You know, if a goblin giant died, I feel like it would become a giant skeleton. I think that's what happened. You guys let me know. How did it become the dinosaur? The extinct dinosaur that's become, you know, the museum thing that comes alive, that's just scary. That's the way I envision it every time. Anyway, we're going to pop a really dreadful ability for our homie here, and then we're going to go for dual lane pressure. Definitely want to go cannon cart on the left side and then go for real goblin barrel on the right because he's going to expect us to go real goblin barrel left. But this is just so much pressure. We can go goblin gang middle. I think the game's just over. So yeah, if you guys want to just defeat everyone pretty easily, you want to make sure you're doing what I was doing against the Pekka Electro Dragon players because that's the most difficult matchup. And then everything else is just a cakewalk. You crush your opponents, you make them leave. 11-0. We have been non-stop destroying every single person we play. All right, so we lost one game against the ranked 74 player in the world. Did not get to commentate that one, but we are going to be onwards and upwards and hopefully able to secure a 12-1 here. I also cut out a lot of wins that were easier earlier on too that just weren't great with commentary. Try to just show you guys some of the more fun matches, especially I think the second game of the day was the most satisfying for me, beating Evolve Pekka. Really, really cool stuff. If you can't beat Evolve Pekka, you can't run the deck that you're playing then. It is the #1 deck that is everywhere. And let's freaking go. We get it again. All right, Clash. So, we see the Pekka again. It is a familiar face is what we're trying to say. Anyway, we can go Goblin Gang here. If we can get the Goblins in front, that would be huge. Even if they're not. Ooh, okay. All right. Use NATO. So, I definitely want to go Goblin Barrel with a Goblin Stein because he doesn't have Pekka in cycle for this Goblin Stein, and then also doesn't have Tornado for the Goblins, so this is bound to be a lot of damage. I'm not going to pop ability until the Ghost is nearby, and then we're just going to pop ability on the Ghost. I do think that the Electro Dragon is very nice to snipe, so we're going to try to go and take that as well. Try to kill that as quickly as we possibly can. Huge value. Let's freaking go, man. That's what I'm talking about, and we can't arrows this, I don't think, because we would just lose to a possible Ram Rider. So I'm going to eat a bunch of damage. I think that's okay for me, because I want to make sure that I'm up in damage and I'm also up in elixir so I don't get screwed by a random Ram Rider plus something else. So could have arrows that as well. I just didn't feel like it was the safest bet. Now we're going to go for Royal Recruits and Goblin Gang split. And there's the Ram Rider as I anticipated. Just didn't expect him to drop it at that point. I thought he would go Pekka in the back because if you drop that at the ridge and you're going into a cannon, it's a -2 trade. So I think it's a bad play on his end. Anyway, all we have to do against this Pekka is make sure that we kill it before he gets an Electro Dragon in front of it. And if he tries to, then I think it's in our best interest to tower trade and then just take the tower and not get 3 crowned. But I'm sure you guys have witnessed our perfect cannon cart placement. We're going to go and do that right now. We're going to go and pull the Pekka as much as possible. Then we're going to go in for Goblin Stein to go and push everything off. And I think we're able to go for the 3 crown, believe it or not. So I want to get to the Goblin Barrel evolution. But I think first and foremost, we want to go Dark Goblin here. I'm not going to pop ability. Not worth it because we're only killing a Ghost. Then we're going to go for Royal Recruits here. And then we're going to try to go Goblin Barrel on the outside. I think this is one of those moments where all we have to do is go cannon. And it full counters the Ram Rider. So we literally take like 0 damage here. And this is the placement that I intended to do against the person that had Battle Ram. And I just wasn't able to make that happen. Another thing that Lucas X Gamer was talking to me about is sometimes just let the Electro Dragon lock onto the tower. It's not going to kill you. But if the Pekka locks onto your tower, it's going to be an entirely different story. So just let the Electro Dragon separately lock onto you, and then you're fine. Also, I think arrows in here is worth it. I do want to go for the 3 crown just to flex, but I'm going to also flex again with this cannon placement. If you guys knew, you could push the Ram Rider to the other side. So the Ram Rider is literally going to the other side as far away as humanly possible. If we had a couple seconds more, that would have been a 3 crown. We're currently sitting pretty at 12-1 with our only loss to a ranked 74 player in the world. And we get 15,000 elite wildcards for my free-to-play, which is a massive W. I need level 15 cards because if you look at my decks, they're so under-leveled it's scary. If you guys enjoyed the high-level analysis on one of the best decks in the game, leave a like so I know to do more of these in the future. Because when you start incorporating the plays like sniping Electro Dragons with Dark Goblins, you're going to win way more games. I had to play a ton of matches through trial and error and asking the best players in the game to figure out how to optimally play this deck. Literally hundreds of games of practice were a build-up for this video. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for supporting me this entire year. I love you guys to pieces, and peace out.